Well, hello everyone. It's 5 o'clock here. My name is John Newman. I want to welcome everybody to our CTD webinar here. We are so proud to have Chris Bouget talking about the very important topic of professional development. I'm from Pacer Center, one of the many partners that make up the Center on Technology and Disability. Just introducing Chris here. There's an old saying that says we can't be, the best parent, the best teacher, unless we take care of ourselves. And I think that quote really is very true if you're a professional in this field. So today we are taking on this very important topic, and we couldn't think of anyone better to really present on it. Chris, as many of you know, is a podcast host of the AT Hits Cast. He's also an author of the Fun and Practical Guide of AT in the Public Schools. So he really lives this topic, and we're just so glad to have him here and kind of give us some very modern and time-efficient tips for keeping up to date as professionals. So thank you so much once again, Chris, and I will turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, John. I really appreciate it. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back for some of you who came to the last webinar on the reading and writing strategies. This webinar won't be in Jeopardy format, and this one's going to be a little bit more straightforward, like a slideshow. But I hope it's just as fun and engaging and that you participate just as much as the last one with active chat, throwing in questions down there in the chat for me or for each other, sharing resources that you know about. I mean, occasionally I will just flat out ask you, and hopefully you'll participate in the chat that way. A little bit about myself. I work for Loudoun County Public Schools. I'm a assistive technology trainer there. I work on a team of 12 people. There's one supervisor, one support person, and then there's 10 of us trainers that divide up our county. Loudoun County Public Schools is in Northern Virginia, and the entire county is a school district. So, I mean, depending on where you are, school districts work in different ways. Like where I grew up just south of Buffalo, it was based on townships, right? So your entire school district was a township. Here, your entire school district is based on the county system. So we divide up the county. And so what I do on a day-to-day basis is go out and meet with teachers to brainstorm solutions for problems that students are having or that they're having. And what we've learned over the years, I've been doing this now for, I think, 600 years, something like that. It feels like that. I don't know. I started in the county in 99, and we started the assistive technology team officially in 2001. So I guess 14, 15 years somewhere I've been officially doing assistive technology. And one of the things we've learned over time is that we try and get ahead of the teachers. Before they can ask us a question, we want to have the answer for them so that they don't even have to ask us the question. They have a resource that's available to them that they can find the answer for themselves. So what are some of the tips and tricks over the years that have worked for us as the assistive technology team that I use, and then hopefully that you'll add down there in the chat as well what you use. So the alternate title of this webinar is called Multiple Means of Professional Development, as you can see there on the screen. And just, someone must know what's that a spin on of, right? There's a spin of something. What is it? Can you guess where the title came from? Yes, UDL, of course, right? And but there might be somebody out there in the audience that doesn't know what UDL is. So it's Universal Design for Learning, and there's the 3 different pillars, and each pillar 3 different concepts, core concepts, and each one starts with multiple means. And so I thought it might be a fun twist on it is to put multiple means of professional development. All the different ways, not all the different ways, many different ways you could do professional development and get the ideas across to teachers efficiently. So let's dive in, shall we? So this is, there's all my contact information. So you have access to, this is being recorded, so you'll have the entire video you can go back. And we have the PDF there that has my contact information, and one of the very last slides also has this entire slide deck that you can download as well. So you'll have all my contact information if you have questions afterwards. And then I think I might have mentioned this in the last webinar, but again, not everyone was there. One of the books that we use, some of the schools we use in some of the schools is called The Fundamental Five by Sean Kane, and he talks about these 5 different practices that teachers, he studied different teachers and he found these 5 fundamental things that teachers do, and one of those that good teachers do. And one of them is to frame your lesson with objectives on the board at the beginning and then maybe at the end as well. And so these are the objectives. What are we going to learn today during this webinar? One is to establish a philosophy how to create a professional development program, right? So how to make it really good. 2, at least 3 different tools or methodologies that you can use to help educators learn some new practices. And then number 3, how to create a digital archive of materials that you can use, that teachers can search through. So that's what we're going to talk about. Starting off with the philosophy. Yeah, here's what PD should be. It should be, what we've learned over time is that it shouldn't be just one experience that you have, come get it, and then you think you know everything, or the presenter thinks you know everything, that it has to happen more than one time. As someone who does a lot of professional development and talks to many people and talks to lots of teachers, realize that it has to be more than one way, right? I mean, just like we preach UDL to the teachers and ask the teachers to present to the students different ways they present their content and have students express what they know, that doesn't change as you get older and you become an adult learner, right? So being a professional developer, someone who's presenting content all the time, you have to understand that you can't just do it one way. It can't just be come to the workshop, put your butt in a chair, and get the information. You have to have different modalities. And then because you're doing it so often, you want it to be reproducible, right? So that you don't have to keep saying the same message over and over the same way. You want to be able to do it as many different ways, and people can experience it again. Well, okay, I think I got what Chris was saying, but now I'm going to go back and watch that video again, or maybe I'll listen to it on my drive home, something like that. And then as much as possible, whoever put sit and get is exactly right. It cannot be sit and get. It has to be as interactive as possible. That's why the chat's so important in this webinar. The more you just sit there and listen, the more you want to tune out and you want to go and do something else. So, but most importantly, what it has to be is fun. It has to be fun. You have to keep it fun, and to me, that's what makes people come back to other presentations that you do. That's what makes it most memorable. I mean, in the world of UDL and the terminology of UDL, you have a different word for this, right? Everyone knows what that other word is. Begins with an E, ends with an engagement, right? But to me, strip away the fancy terminology. It doesn't have to be some fancy word like engagement, and what does that mean? Are the kids engaged? Are the teachers engaged? It's just, are they having fun? Are they enjoying themselves? Is life better because you're here doing this, right? So have fun. If there's one takeaway from today, hopefully that's it. You're having fun. Real quick, this is some of the ways that I have fun, right? Is that up here in the top left, you see I'm dressed like a little professor, right? Everyone know what movie this is from? Can anyone tell me what movie this is from? Me with the glasses and the tie. Everyone's typing in. Excellent. Superman, right? Superman. And then what these are from are different podcast episodes I've done. I did one on when I went and saw the latest Superman movie and did a review of it and tied it into some assistive technology principles. How about this one? Anyone know what this one is with the green eyes? Not the Blair Witch Project. It's a parody of, it says it right there on the screen. Oh gosh, do they know it? Everyone's typing. Yeah, especially scary movies. That's a scary movie. Scream, right, Andy? Exactly, Scream. The classic beginning of the Scream movie. I did a parody of that where the person teasing my wife, my wife was the one on the other end of the phone, she had to give educational strategies to get through the phone call. And then, of course, you can see Indiana Jones, The Avengers, Hunger Games, and then anyone know what this is in the hood? That's really obscure. But they just finished wrapping on the fourth sequel. 8 Mile. No, Andy, it's not 8 Mile. That is me. It's good close, though. Very good. That's me dressed as Tom Cruise, obviously. I'm Tom Cruise from Mission Impossible 4, the Ghost Protocol, my first movie review that I ever did. Yeah, very obscure. Star Wars, right? I do look like the Jedi there, maybe. So this is one of the ways that I try and have fun is to dress up and you know, put my face on different characters like Iron Man there and make it sort of engaging. All right, so now real substance, right? You didn't come here to see me put my face on the Hulk. What you came here is to learn professional development strategies. So let's look at the frustration matrix. What this is sort of what I think of as the typical PD cycle, right? So let's start at the top. Someone, maybe an administrator, maybe it's us on our assistive technology team years ago, maybe it's you now currently, has an idea. Hey, these educators need to learn something new. What do they need to learn? Maybe it's UDL. Maybe it's core vocabulary. Maybe if you're in the world of AAC. Maybe it's word prediction. Maybe it's text-to-speech. I don't know. Whatever your thing is that you feel like teachers need to know, you have this idea, right? And so then what comes next is that you decide that, okay, they need to know this thing. What are we going to do? Let's do a workshop where they'll learn this thing. Teachers will come, and I will tell them about this thing, and then they will know about this thing. Except we know that, see this big red arrow right here, that there are tons of barriers involved between having that idea and scheduling the workshop and having people actually show up. Like what? What are some barriers between when you schedule a workshop? And as you're typing those in, we'll just talk to you about what we were talking about just before you all signed on. John and Anna Marie, we were talking about how people sign up for our workshops, for the CTD workshops. And tons of people sign up, and then there's, I think John used the word attrition, right? When the actual day of the webinar comes, oh my gosh, it's so nice outside. Wow, beautiful. It's like 70 degrees. It's been yucky for the last few months. Maybe I won't go to that webinar today. You know, so you always have this drop-off rate from where teachers sign up, but they don't necessarily show up, right? Yeah, Don is saying life, right? I know I have a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old. My 9-year-old just signed up for soccer practice, and my 7-year-old just got back from piano, right? And so if there was this great workshop that I wanted to go to after school today, you know, my daughter had to get to piano practice, you know? So these real-life barriers get in the way of people actually showing up for the workshop. And then when you get to the workshop, if it is sit and get, then it's so like, oh, man, I would rather be outside, or I'm not coming to the next workshop. And so you see it doesn't always work. But, okay, maybe you did have the best workshop ever where it was interactive and people were really engaged and they were having fun. And so what happens next? That, you know, they fill out that evaluation at the end. Like you'll get an evaluation at the end of this webinar so you can tell everyone what you thought about it, right? And what do we usually get? I mean, it's very rare that I've ever seen a professional development evaluation that came back like, oh, well, that was a waste of my time, or that sucked, or I would rather have been somewhere else. I mean, usually they're pretty positive because people are nice generally, right? And they're nice to the evaluator or to the presenter, and they maybe even know that presenter. And so they might give some constructive feedback, but usually it's all good. Like it comes back really good. But then what happens? The teachers go back to their classroom, and you don't see any of that. You don't really see this change. Now, the only time the exception to this is, like, so for instance, UDL, right? We do a session on UDL. This is what UDL is, and you should practice UDL, and let's do a little activity during the UDL workshop, and then fill out the feedback at the end, and then I'll come to your class, and you're not doing UDL. Right? You didn't get a chance to practice it. Maybe you did practice it during the webinar, or during the workshop, but no real change happened in the classroom. The one exception to this might be if it's something skills-based. And what I mean by that is, hey, we're rolling out the new IEP system, or we're rolling out the new email system. come to the workshop, learn how to use the new email system, and now you're going to use it because you have no other choice. This is the email system. Well, yeah, that works. That works. But when you're trying to make change for like a philosophy or a set of tools that are, it's not just skills-based, right? You're trying to teach teachers how to help students. Typically, they may get one or two things, but there's not a lot of change. People go back and they just do what they're comfortable doing. And so that leads to frustration. And then what happens next is, oh, the new bright and shiny, like someone said, right? Yeah, I saw this new thing at this conference, or I saw the CNN, or I heard this on whatever, wherever people hear about it. They get the new bright and shiny, and the whole thing starts over again. Like, oh, now it's 3D printing, and then after 3D printing, or before 3D printing, it was the Pulse pen or the Echo pen. The pen. So these different tools or different strategies come flying out at you. Everyone gets on the wave. We've got to teach people about that, and then I don't know. Like I said, you don't see a lot of real change. Is that? Am I speaking people's language? Is this what you typically see? Yeah, John wrote, good PD is as much motivation as information. Totally. There's this classic Simpsons quote where Principal Skinner says the best scientist is half P.T. Barnum and half B.F. Skinner, right? I mean, you have to know your stuff and you have to be engaging while you're doing it to really make a change. So yeah, so this is what everyone sees. Good. And this, it's not good, right? We don't want that. We want to change that, but I'm glad that people are empathizing with me. Okay, so how do we change it? So this is what I think the success matrix is that instead of starting with this idea, oh, we need to teach people UDL, oh, we need to teach people text-to-speech, we start with a goal. By the end of this year, 12 teachers will have demonstrated UDL in their classroom through observation. Or they will come up with 3 tools to represent information in a different way, right? Some sort of goal, not just an idea. The idea is too easy to just punt to the side, that idea came and go. Ideas are cheap. I think about writers, like authors. I draw from lots of different sources here. So you talk to authors who do little seminars on how to write, and they'll tell you ideas are cheap. I can come up with ideas anytime, any place. Off the top of my head, I'm going to write a story about 12 monkeys trapped on an island that need tools to escape, and one of them is a gorilla. I don't know, and you could write a story about that, right? The ideas come easy. It's actually the practice and the discipline of actually sitting down and writing the story that's the hard part. Same thing here with professional development. Having an idea, oh man, every teacher should know about text-to-speech. That's the easy part. Oh, every teacher should know about UDL. That's the easy part. It's actually pinning it to a goal by a certain time frame. Usually it's by the end of the year, right? We're used to thinking of goals as an IEP, which is a year-long process. So you plan for the year. So we usually set it for a year. By the end of the year, all the speech therapists will know about X, Y, and Z, or we'll be able to demonstrate X, Y, and Z. Even those aren't good ideas. I mean, you've got to be even more descriptive than that. So that's the way you develop a professional development workshop is thinking, what is the goal? By the end of this time period, what are they going to be able to do? And then not just delivering it once, but educators seek opportunities to fulfill that need multiple times, right? That's the multiple means here, is that it's not just come once, it's many times. And then respecting the idea that people have preferences. And so by presenting it in different modalities, teachers can choose what works best for them. So my wife just turned into a soccer mom, right? My son's going to start playing soccer. She's a teacher, a high school teacher, and she needs to do professional development, but she's got piano and she's got soccer to get to. Where does she spend a lot of her afternoon? In the car. So even though she might like to go to a professional development workshop on universal design for learning or text-to-speech or whatever the concept is, she can't because she has these obligations, but she could listen to a podcast on it, and so she might choose that modality to listen to a podcast as opposed to attending a butt-in chair, you go to a place workshop. And then as a presenter or as yourself as the educator who learns something, you have to measure yourself to see if you've achieved that goal. And I think the step 1 about establishing the goal, step 2 about having different modalities, and step 3 about measuring that goal and seeing, well, did we actually achieve what we set out to achieve, is how you can actually make some change and prove that you've made some change. Goals, I just threw in this slide here in case you're like, well, what's he talking about? That there has to be a time period and it has to be measurable, right? The way to write goals, this is kind of the standard now, is to use SMART goals, right? It has to be specific. So it's not some sort of nebulous cloud that you're living in, like, yeah, that's that idea. It's got to be pinned down to something specific. You have to be able to measure it. Of course, it has to be realistic and achievable. It can't be some pie in the sky. I mean, that could be like a 10-year goal maybe, but and then time-bound, right? Something that you can measure within a reasonable time. Yeah, right? Yeah, there's a great Simpsons episode that comes from. When it comes to technology implementation, and I have a slide here in a minute, but that says the same thing. So often we think of our professional development workshops as, well, how do I make it the best workshop ever? And we really think about the quality of it, right? And that's, again, that's the evaluation at the end, right? You do the evaluation at the end, oh, the quality was really good because everyone said how great it was. But I wonder, what if we switch that, or, I mean, quality is still important, but what if we talked about quantity as well? What if we talked about the number of times we hit somebody with an idea, and that's how you make the change? That's what I often think, is that it's not about some one great grandiose idea. UDL, that will solve everything. No, if I just go to the workshop and I tell everyone about UDL, then they'll all start practicing UDL, because how could they not? It makes so much sense when you present it to them. And then they don't do it, and you're like, what the heck? Because it's not about that one moment or one grand idea. It's about all the millions of moments afterwards that or building up to it and afterwards that actually make the change, right? So I think of it like the Grand Canyon, right? The Grand Canyon wasn't formed in one day, with someone coming through with it was millions of years, millions of little molecules of water slicing through the rock that eventually makes the change. And so that's what I'm getting at, is that, yes, we think so often of workshops as, was it good or was it bad? But I wonder if we should start thinking, well, how many times do I have to hit them before they understand this concept? And so that made me think of, well, what's my number? All right, if I have to hit them a number of times, and I can't wait for 1 trillion times, what's the magic number? And so that got me thinking of marketing, right? I mean, when you're watching the Super Bowl, right, and you're sitting there and the Doritos commercial comes on, maybe you have a bag of Doritos in your pantry and you're like, oh yeah, Doritos. Maybe I'll go get some Doritos. And you get up from your couch and you go get Doritos. But chances are that's not who they're targeting, the Doritos people. They're not targeting the people that already have Doritos in their house. They're targeting the people that don't, right? They want you to go buy Doritos. But you're not going to get up during the middle of the Super Bowl and drive to a store and pick up a bag of Doritos, right? They're not counting on you doing it right in that moment. They're counting on you going and buying Doritos later. So what are the chances that you're going to be in a store thinking about the Super Bowl commercial? Like, yeah, that's right. During that Super Bowl, they showed that Doritos commercial, and so I wrote it on my list that I need some Doritos, so I'm going to pick it up. And that's not how it works, right? Or Doritos might be a bad example. What if it was Lexus? You know what I mean? Like, Lexus is a car. You don't put that on the to-do list, oh, I need to go out and buy a Lexus today, right? They're not expecting you to stop in the moment of the Super Bowl and then go and buy a Lexus. So what if we applied those same marketing strategies to education, where it's, I'm not expecting you to get this right now when I'm presenting it to you. Yes, I'm expecting you to understand a little bit, like that the Lexus is bright and shiny, or that Doritos taste good, and this is an interesting piece of information that I'm sharing. What I'm really hoping to get is that on maybe the 22nd time I hit this concept, that's when it really sinks in. So I keep hitting you in the face with Doritos so that the next time you're walking past the aisle, you're like, yeah, Doritos. I should probably grab some of those. Those look good. You're not even consciously really thinking about it anymore that you want Doritos. It's just because you've seen Doritos everywhere, you want them, right? Next time you go shopping for a car, I don't know, maybe a Lexus, or the next time you go shopping for shoes, you're like, yeah, Nike. Yeah, maybe I'll pick up those Nikes, because they've hit you so many times that it's attrition, right? I mean, it's that they just keep plugging away at you. So that's my thought. The number 22 is not evidence-based. It's not research-based. That's my number, right? And so I ask all of you, and you don't have to type this in. This is your own personal thing. What's your number? How many times do you think you need to hit a teacher with an educational concept before they get it, right? Let me put it in a story for you, just to take away the analogy and put it in a real practical story. There's a tool out there called Plickers. Anyone heard of Plickers? Anyone chat? John's typing, he's heard of Plickers, right? It's an iOS app. Yes, right? So Plickers is an app that you can download on your phone, and you print off these little pieces of paper, and you give them to your students, and the students hold them up above their heads, and then you scan your phone around the room, sort of like you're taking a video or a picture, and when the students hold up their responses, it kind of keeps track of what they answer, like A, B, or C, or D, right? They hold up the paper, and it gives you a little score on so how many people held up A, and that comes up on your phone, right? Did I do a good job describing that, Bridget, John, Lorraine? It's something like that, right? Well, here I'm a tech guy, right? I kind of like the whole technology stuff. I like learning new strategies. That's like my thing, right? I like doing that. I'm really motivated by that. And I'm on social media sites, and I read different blogs, and I subscribe to different listservs, right? Yeah, it's a low-cost polling tool. Thank you, Jackie. And so, and I see it in my Twitter feed, Plickers. Oh, that looks interesting. I don't know what it is, but I'll check it out later. And then, it comes up in an email. Oh, Plickers. Yeah, I should probably figure out what that is. People seem to be a buzz about it. Maybe a teacher I talk to says, oh, yeah, Chris, have you seen Plickers? No, I really need to check that out. Here I am. I'm into it, right? I'm into tech, and I have not looked at Plickers yet because I've got other stuff going on in my life, I get busy. So it probably took me 6 or 7 times to hear the word Plickers before I said, all right, I really got to check this out. I need to know what it is. And it was at ATIA that somebody showed it, and I was like, yeah, okay, now I know what Plickers is, because it's been on my list to do. I've been meaning to get to it, but it was not in the forefront, right? And so Don is typing something I'm interested in. Yeah, I think that happens to all of us, and especially teachers, is that they hear some new tool, or they hear that new fandangled concept of universal design for learning, or they've heard John say when he goes into their classroom, hey, you need to use a text-to-speech tool, but it doesn't really register with them until maybe the 22nd time. At least that's my target, the 22nd time. That's my personal number for when I get frustrated with a teacher. It used to be in the day, we do a presentation, and I would say, come on, how come they're not using Blackboard? I showed them Blackboard. They're not using Read and Write Gold. How come they're not using Read and Write Gold? I showed it to them. What's wrong with them? What's wrong with them? And they realized, no, it's me, right? They're not doing anything wrong. I should not have the expectation that I show it to them one time and that they would be able to use it or know it, right? So my thought is the quantity. We keep hitting them over and over until they can't ignore it anymore. Oh, right, and we persuade them that way, just like a marketer does, a person in advertising does. We're selling our educational ideas just like an educator, or just like a marketer or an advertiser is selling their product, right? So, okay, yeah, maybe it's your own rule of 22. You forgive yourself, Bridget, right? You forgive yourself for not finding clickers fast enough, and using that and putting that tool in your tool belt. So what you're going to see from now on are ways that you can get to 22 maybe as fast as possible using multiple means, different ways to get to that number of 22. Donna says, this is an They'll implement technology. I'm going to read what Donna said. Teachers will implement when a supervisor asks where the technology is, or they'll implement when they hear the strategy from an outside source other than inside AT people. Right. You can't be my colleague Sally Norton-Dar always uses the classic example, you can't be a prophet in your own land, right? And same thing in Loudon, right? I mean, I go to, no, that's Chris, he doesn't know, but if I show a YouTube video of someone else saying it, well, okay, maybe, if we bring someone in from the outside saying it, maybe, right? So that's so true. And that is sad, Donna, that's what teachers do, right? And I do know that teachers do that as well. That they'll, well, I'll do technology when I'm being observed, right? But I don't really integrate it all the time, just to kind of fool the administrators. But sometimes I think administrators see through that. They know that not every lesson is built that way. And still, at least they're doing it in that one time. I guess it's what I'm hoping for is, again, to get to that number 22, where then they say, oh, what's this tool that I'm missing? I can implement this all the time. Yes, good idea, Anna. Keep sharing them. So one of the other ideas is to duplicate yourself. Again, I know the people that are attending this webinar are super busy as professional developers. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over. You can't be in multiple places at once because you're only one person. But if you can duplicate yourself in some way, then you can be in multiple places at once. Someone could be, one of you could be in this webinar right now listening to me. Someone else could be, who's not in this webinar, could be watching a YouTube video that I made, and someone else could be listening to a podcast I made, in which case I am in 3 places at once. Hey, by the way, who is that on the screen? Anyone know who that is? Dolly, right? Exactly, right? You have to clone yourself. You become a clone so that you duplicate yourself. Okay. Let's get to an actual strategy that you can use. Besides changing the philosophy, right, of having a goal first and then measuring that goal in the end, that's the overriding philosophy. Let's get to some actual tools. So here's a really quick strategy that I think almost nobody uses. Email signatures and automatic email replies. This is something you can do to bump up your number to get closer to 22. So let's talk about email signatures. All of us use email every single day. And the majority of people have some sort of signature at the bottom that says, here's my telephone number, and maybe some sort of cute saying, maybe a quote from Einstein or something, which is fine. That's all good. If that's what you're getting after, you want to change the person that you're emailing, you want to change their mind or influence them in some way. Maybe that quote is really what you're shooting for. But usually, I think what people do is they put some quote to reflect who they are, right? But what if you use that email signature, because that's something that they're seeing every single time they get an email from you. In that email signature are a handful of resources that you use. The goal that we picked for professional development this year is we are going to hit text-to-speech. By the end of the year, every teacher will have experienced, at least seen text-to-speech once. Well, what if you had in your email signature, thanks for the great email, signing off, John Newman, and underneath John Newman it says, hey, have you seen my text-to-speech video? And there's the text-to-speach video, and there's a link to it underneath, as opposed to the cute quote that someone reads and go, oh, that's cute, oh, there's a link, let me look at it. Immediately, that doesn't mean people will necessarily click on it. Sometimes you ignore those, but it's a very quick way that you can present it to somebody else. The second one is your automatic email reply. We all take a few days off every once in a while, maybe go on vacation, and when you do that, go to a conference and you say, hey, what do you get as an email reply? You get, hey, I'm going to be out of the office for 4 or 5 days. Here's my, don't expect an email back from me. here's my telephone number that you probably already knew anyway. What if, instead of getting that, you got an automatic email reply that said, hey, chances are you're emailing me because you need some educational resources. What people have been writing me about lately is accessible instructional materials. Let me give you some resources on accessible instructional materials. Here you go. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. If that's not what you're writing me about, okay, here's my telephone number, and I'll get back to you when I get back. But it's another way to get to 22. If you've picked an educational goal of we need everyone to know about accessible instructional materials this year, then you put that in your email signature when you're gone, and boom, you've got some you're more ticks towards 22, if you will. Cool, easy enough to do. Right here is, I don't know if I should have clicked on that, but this is my sample, and you can kind of see some over here on the side that, I have samples that you can use, that you can just go in that hyperlink, bit.ly/email reply, and you can take that link and you can see what I write as my automatic email reply, and you can tweak it as much as you want. So, didn't like that I tried to click on that hyperlink. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about is a web resource called, well, it's more of a mobile resource called Vine. It's another real quick way to do it. It's another real quick way to present information to people. Have you heard of Vine? Has anyone heard of Vine? All right, Chris, you said yes. What is it? Don's heard of it? Yep, Linda says short videos. How short, Linda? Do you know? "20 seconds. That's too long. 20 seconds is way too long. 6 seconds. There you go, Linda. Exactly, as my PowerPoint here comes back up. Yeah, Vine are 6-second videos that you make on your phone. It's made by the same company that does Twitter, right? And so I can't take credit for this idea. Jamie Martin, AT Dyslexia, he's at AT Dyslexia. Jamie Martin was teaching me Vine a couple of years ago at ATIA, and he started a hashtag called Vine AT Tips. And so what that is are short Vine videos. I'm going to grab the hyperlink here, and I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to paste it here so you can see what it looks like. What's the idea? The idea is that you can show a short video to somebody, and they will get the idea of whatever the tool is that you want to share. So let me hyperlink. There we go. I apologize for not having this open ahead of time, like I had other things open. Okay, here you go. So you can see these are videos that people have made where they've used the tag Vine AT Tips. So they have taken their phone, they've made a 6-second video giving them the idea that, it's to raise awareness of what other tool is, right? So I mentioned 3D printing, and this is somebody using a 3D pen, right, and how it works. This is a website on sesamestreet.org, and so it just is a quick video say, hey, here's a website that I like. Or maybe it's a app that you use. Here's ModMath. And so Jamie's showing ModMath real quick. And so it's just this awareness level. Oh, okay, I didn't know that it exists, and I get an idea of what it's about in 6 seconds. Right? And, of course, you can put text underneath it as well to help further explain it, right? So like this one is my son using Blogster, which is a tool, to make an online poster. And so you really can't see the tool, but you get the idea that, oh my gosh, here's this, 9-year-old. He's actually working on the computer. He's actually making something, right? And so I got a little description underneath it. So that's right. John, thank you for answering Jennifer's question, right? It's like a tweet with a short video that loops. And so what's the idea is that, again, in 6 seconds, I can make a quick little tutorial, and it's a click towards my number 22 that I'm shooting for. Okay. Those are some quick things that you can do. The next thing, not so quick. The next thing I'm going to tell you about is our assistive technology team, our Loudoun County Public Schools assistive technology team. We, of course, one way to do professional development is to have a website that has resources on it, right? And you put your resources on a website. Most people know that, right? And so our assistive technology team, we had some problems, right? We were developing our website, and we had one of the things we found is that, well, we're finding all these resources, especially when the avalanche happened, and it's still happening. You're always finding these new apps. You're finding these now with Chrome extensions. How do I keep that all organized, right? How do I find something, remember it, and keep it organized? And then how do I share it on a website that we're creating so that my teachers can access it? And then if not just stuff that we find or that we curated from websites, but what about stuff we created? How do we organize that stuff that we created? And so then how do we share that with educators so that, again, you might remember at the beginning of this webinar I mentioned what we really want is teachers not to call me at all, but to have access to the resources so that they don't even have to call me. They're like, well, I'll just answer my own question by going here. And so if I found this great tool or strategy or tutorial or app or Chrome extension or a web tool or whatever, how can I share that with teachers so that they don't have to come to me to get that information? They can go somewhere to get it. And then when we're building our website, this question of, well, okay, we have 12 people on our team, and getting 12 people to agree on anything is nigh impossible, right? And so one of the things big discussion we had was, should our website be dynamic, where every day it changes and we put up new resources, or should it be static, where teachers like, yeah, okay, I need to find that resource, and I know if I go to the assistive technology page and I click on the reading link that there's going to be 5 resources there, and that's always going to be there for me because that's how I know, that's how I get to my reading resource. And they don't know how to bookmark it, and they don't know how to manage it any other way. They just know they go to that website and that's where it'll be. And so some of us thought, well, it should be dynamic. It should change all the time. And others of us said, no, it's got to be static because we can't leave those teachers out that want to rely on it being there. So how do we mix that world together? And the answer was social bookmarking. We used a tool, we continue to use a tool called Diigo. Diigo is free, but it's just like any other web-based tool. It's free and it has premium features. And what's nice about Diigo is it also has a free educator account that gives you some of the premium features. And so I'm going to show you sort of how we use this as a professional development tool. These are some examples of what, this is just a screenshot of what Diigo looks like, but I'm going to take you over there live and show you exactly how I would maybe bookmark something and how teachers can then get access to it without necessarily contacting me. We made a little, my colleagues made a little tutorial video that explains exactly how to use our Diigo group. And so let me jump out of the PowerPoint real quick and let me bring up Diigo. Okay, so this is Diigo, right? This is my Diigo library. The idea is that whenever I'm out on the web and I find something, someone tweets something, I'm on a website that's interesting, I will save that. What do you do now? What do you do now? Most people, when you find something interesting, what do you do? People out there in webinar land? Oh, Laureen, that's a good question. Let me come back to that. You're talking about open source. Oh, Laureen, I have so many stories to tell you. Okay. You bookmark it, right? And Jennifer, how do you bookmark it? Like in your Chrome browser, right? Or maybe Internet Explorer? Linda shares it via email. Oh, here's this great tool I found, and she sends it out to all of her people. Does that sound right, Linda? And then it's in your email somewhere, so you can go search it later by searching through your email. Where's that web link that Linda sent me? Right? Linda pins it. Okay, cool. star in Chrome. Yeah, and then sometimes they can't find it later, right? Totally, because it's lost in their email, or maybe they deleted their email, right? They didn't archive it, right? Donna puts it in SharePoint. Okay, interesting. Which is Microsoft Microsoft Office. So let me show you how we do it. This, what you're looking at on screen, is my Diigo library. And notice at the top, so when I say my library, I mean that's my personal and professional library. It's just mine. It has nothing to do with Loudoun County Public Schools. It has nothing to do with my team. It really has nothing to do with any of you other than that I share it out free to the world. Anyone can go in here, go to diigo.com/user/ATTipscast and see what I've been bookmarking lately, because maybe you'd like to bookmark it. When I bookmark it, I bookmark it to Diigo, and instead of it staying in my Chrome browser, it stays here on the web, which is now shared publicly for anybody to see. Of course, I can always save something privately as well, and I'll show you that as I bookmark something. So now I need a good thing to bookmark. Can someone give me something to bookmark? In fact, Bridget, I know you have something coming up. Isn't there a Twitter 101 thing that you have coming up soon? Aha. Okay, John has the URL. So let me click on that URL. It's going to open up right here in my Chrome browser. Perfect. Okay. Here is a web resource that I want to bookmark, just like any other thing I want to bookmark, right? Maybe it's some new web tool, maybe it's an app, maybe it's a Chrome browser app, whatever. Everything has a URL, right? And right here I've installed a Diigo extension. And so I click on Diigo, and it's going to take a second to open up, but it says, okay, Chris, it looks like you want to save this resource. So I hit save, right? And it opens up this little page here, and it says, okay, what's the title of this thing going to be? And it's already kind of pre-posted the title for me. Sometimes the titles, you might want to edit them, so it's an editable field. But in this case, workshop registration looks good. Still like it. What's the description? This is Bridget, awesome Twitter 101 workshop, right? I don't always have to type it in. If I were to have highlighted this information, notice how there's some, usually if you go to a website, there's like an about section or there's a little bit of information. You can highlight that text, and if I had done that first, it would have automatically populated down here. But I wanted to show you how I could type it in, okay? Oh, good, Jackie, we can bookmark that too. And so then it's asking me for some tags, right? And so what are tags? Tags are the way you organize information. So once upon a time, before I knew about social bookmarking and I knew about what tags were, what I used to do is I'd take information like a website, and I would take that URL and I would drop it in a folder someplace. But then I was kind of like, oh my gosh, this resource is on algebra. So do I put it in the algebra folder, or does that go in the math folder? Oh, but it doesn't just have algebra on it. Look, it's got some reading resources as well. It's kind of, well, should I put it in the reading folder, or should I put it in the algebra folder? Oh, man. But it's also part of an organization, because this is a resource on that the Center for Technology and Disabilities put out. And so maybe I kind of want to put it in the Center for Technology and Disability folder. And, you can't ever think about which exact folder it should go into. So that's the dilemma you run into when you're filing something in a filing cabinet, right? Which folder do I put it in? Tagging takes all that away, and I can tag it, all of these things. I can tag it Twitter. This is going to be a tutorial. It's going to be a PD. It's going to be Bridget's. So, right? I could say because it has something to do with Pacer Center, I could put Pacer in there. I can try, the rule of thumb is the more tags the better, because what's going to happen is I'm going to get off this webinar later on today. I'm going to go build a leprechaun trap or set up our leprechaun trap with my kids tonight, and then by tomorrow I will have totally forgotten about this Twitter 101 because life happens, right? Except I've got a bookmark here now, and so when what is that Twitter thing? Where do I find it again? I've got it in my, I can search for it by any of these tags. I can do a search, and I'll pull it up, and I've got it in my Diigo library. All right, if I were to save it right now, it would go into my library. But I don't want to save it just to my library because the fact of the matter is I work on a team of 12 people, and not all of them are heavy Twitter users. They have heard me talk about Twitter at team meetings. I've shown them Twitter, but just like people have to hit me 22 times for me to learn Plickers, I need to keep plugging away at them for Twitter probably 22 times before my teammates are going to start to use Twitter. So what do I want to do? I want to share it to my group, and we have created a group called LCPS-AT. You'll notice these are a bunch of groups that I participate in, but this is one called LCPS-AT. What is that? That is the group that my entire team is in. So I have a library. My colleague Sally has a library. My colleague Judy has a library. We all have separate libraries that we keep. We all have separate Diigo accounts that we keep. But when we want to share something, we put it into the Diigo group. So you can picture it like a basket in the middle of the room where everyone's putting good ideas, right? Whenever we bookmark something, we put a good idea in there, right? Sally's watching Downtown Abbey. Isn't that how you say it? Downtown Abbey? I'm pretty sure that's right. That's just a joke, everybody. I know it's Downton Abbey. She's sitting there watching that at night, and she's got her iPad on her lap, or her laptop on her lap, and she comes across some good tool that she's using while she's watching TV. She can bookmark it, and she saves it into the group, and that way I can know that she bookmarked it. She's sharing her resources. Does it make sense? Okay, so I'm saving it to LCPS-AT. I'm going to hit save, and that's it. I just saved this bookmark. And so if I go back to my library and I refresh my screen, you'll see that my library is now updated with this latest thing that I have bookmarked. Right? And if I want to see other stuff in my library, I can click on any of these tags. Right? But now notice at the top of my screen it says My Groups. So if I click on My Groups, these are the different groups I participate in. And here's LCPS-AT. So this is that bucket in the middle of the room where all of my assistive technology trainers, the ones that I work with, put information in there. Right? And Mark, our supervisor, and Andre, our support person, everyone puts their information in here. The tools they're finding, their strategies, the websites they're finding. So notice what you see here. This is, I just bookmarked it and I saved it to LCPS-AT. So there's Bridget's Twitter 101 workshop, right? And then this one is Sally. This is Sally's little icon. She, let's see, it looks like yesterday, maybe March 15th, she bookmarked this. And then here I bookmarked something on copyright, right? And here's some more from Sally, right? And there's some more from me. This is my icon. And so what does this really mean? So we're putting stuff in a bucket. We're putting stuff in a shared location, one place. Well, now this is how it works with professional development. We share this group, groups.diigo.com/group/LCPS-AT. We share that group with all of our teachers. So the idea is, Chris, I really need some help with keyboarding websites. Can you tell me some free keyboarding websites? Well, what I used to do is I would share an email that says, well, here are like 6 keyboarding websites that you could use, and the teacher would get it in their email, and maybe they'd look at it, maybe they wouldn't. But I solved the problem for that one particular teacher. Now what I do is that I say, go to our Diigo site and do a search for keyboarding. And notice I'm up here in the search area, and I'm typing in, keyboarding. And so what does that do? That searches our entire group for anything that has the word keyboard in the title or in the tag, right? And so you'll notice here, keyboard is in the tag. Right here, keyboard is in the title, keyboard shortcuts, right? This is my colleague Hannah. Hannah has shared this. My colleague Stacy has shared this. Does that make sense? They're not just finding what I think is good keyboarding sites or has something to do with keyboarding. They're finding stuff that our entire assistive technology team has found is for keyboarding. Make sense? For keyboarding, there's 76 resources. That's a little bit too cumbersome for a teacher to go through 76 resources. So let me change the search criteria. Keyboarding and free. Free keyboarding. Well, let's see how many things were tagged both keyboarding and free. Oh, 14. That's a little bit more manageable. All right, Karen's asked, let me get to, I've been ignoring the chat here. Let me get back to the chat. Can you follow people's Diigo account? Yes, there's a way that you can follow people's Diigo account. But here, what I'd rather have you do is not follow one particular person's Diigo account, but to search a group for resources that people are sharing, right? Because then you don't get just what one person thinks is interesting. You get what everyone thinks is interesting, and it just becomes searching. So let's put it another way. What did this teacher likely do before emailing me looking for keyboarding resources? When you're looking for a resource, what do? Just you in the webinar. What do you do when you're looking for a resource? Oh man, I really need to find, yeah, you search the web, Chris. Exactly, and Kathleen nailed it, right? You do a Google search, and so if I were to go over to Google and type in free keyboarding websites, what would I get? I get slammed, right? I mean, there would be tons. All right, so good question, Linda. I'll get there in a second. So I get slammed, right? You get hit in the face with a fire hose when you go to Google. You go to Google, type in something, and there's just tons of resources. So what we tell teachers to do is go to our Diigo group and do a search here. And so now you're not getting hit in the face with a fire hose. You're taking a drink from the garden hose. Make sense? These are resources that the Assistive Technology team, the Loudoun County Public Schools Assistive Technology team, has sort of culled together for you so that you're not, it's sort of been vetted, you know? And we don't have some sort of strict criteria for how we vet this information. This looks like a good keyboarding resource. Let me tag it keyboarding, right? It's not like, oh, it's got to meet these 12 criteria to be bookmarked and put into our group. Okay, so the question was from Linda, how did you share the Diigo search results with the teacher? Okay, so there's two different ways. So one, Linda, I don't want the teacher to necessarily even email me. I want to get in front of the problem and have her know about this LCPSAT Diigo group ahead of time to go here and search before she emails me. That's my ultimate goal, right? Is that I don't really even want her to email me. I just want her to do the search and find it herself. So she was like, oh, I wonder what, I really want to learn more about UDL. Let me type in UDL, and I'll get stuff that's been tagged UDL, right? Or I'm really looking for physics resources because, you know, and so now I'm getting resources for physics. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not sending them anything in that case. They've never even emailed me. That's the ultimate goal, right? That's the trick, is that they're not contacting me. They're doing it for themselves. But, okay, it's a teacher that doesn't know about this Diigo group. What I send them is now the response isn't, here are 6 keyboarding websites that you should check out. It's, hey, see this hyperlink up here? I'm sorry, I switched it up on you. Let's say physics. Teacher emails me, says, hey, Chris, do you got any resources on physics? I would send them this hyperlink. Here's my search for physics, copy, okay, and I just paste that into an email. Boom, just like that, like I pasted it into the chat down there, and boom, that's a hyperlink to this list. Does that make sense? Or I might send them a tag. Go back to keyboarding free. Right? Here's I just take this hyperlink and I paste it in to the email. There you go. And now you have it. Yeah. Yeah, Linda, that is 22 times, right? keep plugging away and show them how you use it and show them how we're using it as a group, right? I mean, maybe Linda wrote, she said, I use Diigo myself. It's been harder to get teachers to use it, see it as another site they have to sign up for, totally. But it's free, and as educators it's free. And if they're working in a team at all, if they're working in, let's say it's a bunch of 4th grade teachers, right? They could have a 4th grade Diigo group where they put their information, the resources they're finding to support their 4th grade team, right? Or maybe it's all the special education teachers in a school. Or maybe it's all the speech therapists who never get to see each other in the school district. So it's all the speech therapists in the district have a Diigo group, right? And so they could have a Diigo group where they're culling information. So let's talk about this LCPS AT group. Let me just go back to the main page here. Anybody in the world, especially the teachers that I'm working with, but really anybody in the world could come here and search what LCPS AT, what we've culled together. Does that make sense? So you could do a search for anything here and you come up with our information. What we try and do, we try and be very cognizant of, is try and bookmark a bunch of different things, right? I mean, if we find a cool app, we bookmark the URL to that app in the App Store. We find a cool podcast episode, we try and take the URL from that podcast episode and we paste it in here. And so, for instance, I do the AT Tips Cast, right? That's the podcast that I do. We're going to get to podcasting here in a second. And you'll notice that here's a link to the blog post, but let me do AT Tips Cast and audio. Let me do a search for AT Tips Cast and audio. Right? We try and have direct links to the audio as well, that you don't have to necessarily just go to the blog. We have YouTube videos that we have in here. We have tons of different stuff that we try and bookmark. So it's not just text-based resources or websites. It's videos and podcasts and pictures and everything. Right? Here's a PDF. It's bookmarked. Right? Here we go. Direct link to audio. So if I click on that, it will launch, and now you're in a second here, it'll pop up and it will be to be listening to audio. Make sense? All right. Were there some other questions that I missed in Diigo up above here? Question from Jennifer about vetting by experts. So there's no way to find vetting by experts. Here's the question. Who's the expert? I mean, am I an expert on professional development? I do it, you know. I mean, I'm doing a webinar on it. I don't know if I'm an expert in it. Is there some sort of expert on autism? I mean, I guess if you have a lot of experience, if you just find expert as people who have experience. Again, the idea here, the social part of this bookmarking, is to have some sort of group and then looking at the group. And so you could set it up. I mean, the parameters for how you bookmark something, you could have rules about how you bookmark, like, okay, we're only going to bookmark resources that are and have some sort of criteria. We just don't tend to do that. We tend to make it more free form, like, oh yeah, okay, this looks like it might be interesting. Hey, one other thing. It's relative. I'm looking for AT stuff to make in my group. Exactly. There you go, Maureen. One notice here on many of these resources, do you see these tags? Right? The tags are how you sort things, right? So if I wanted to do a tag for reading, like I click on that, and these are everything tagged reading. If I wanted to, and look, there's the free and low-cost strategies to improve reading and writing webinar. Look, that's already been bookmarked. And look, oh, it's also webinar. So let me see everything tagged webinar, right? And so that's a way you navigate the tags. Right? Again, getting away from the folder structure of a filing system, it's everything is relative. So, all right. One last thing here is these dates. Do you notice how some of these have dates on them? This is like 9 June 2015. What is that date? 2 December 2013. Keep that in the back of your mind for the next resource that I'm going to talk about, for a future resource I'm going to talk about. Okay, so that's how we use Diigo. right? I will send them hyperlinks. Now our website is both dynamic and static. Let me just jump over to our website real quick and show you. Here is, here are math resources, for instance, right? And you'll notice that here are our static stuff. Once a year, we try and go through these. We just finished. And I have to give all my credit to the team that I work on. They do most of the work over here on the static side. I'm in the room, but I do more of the work over on the dynamic side, finding new resources and adding stuff, right? So the team that I work on, any teacher that they could go, that will always know that the National Library of Virtual Manipulators is right here all year long. They can go and they can find it, and it's great, and they don't have to worry about it. But over here, on this side, it's constantly changing. So if they come to the math, oh, that's always new. Let's find the newest stuff that the AT team is finding having to do with math, right? Something that was tagged math. Makes sense? Our site is now static and dynamic at once. Hooray! The best of both worlds. That's right, Jennifer. Okay, what else did I miss about? You might try Diigo. Of course, there are other curation. People say Pinterest, right? Everyone, Pinterest is great. I think there's the only downside to Pinterest is that men aren't allowed to use it. That's a joke. That's just a joke. It's a joke. Men are allowed to use Pinterest. It just seems like there's so many women on Pinterest. I have a Pinterest page. I'm just joking. So yes, thank you, John, for laughing. Everyone should know that's a joke. But Pinterest might be something you could use. You could have a shared Pinterest page and everyone pins to that, right? I mean, so pick your curation tool, but have a curation tool and then have teachers know that you have that curation tool so that you can duplicate yourself. So like I said before, someone could be watching this webinar, someone else could be watching a YouTube video I made, someone else could be listening to a podcast, someone else could be looking up something that I've tagged in Diigo, right? Multiple places, and same for you. Okay. I don't want to lose track of, there was that question about about if you put your stuff out there for free, people will use you for a consultant. And I would say my experience is the exact opposite. I started out and I continue to have the philosophy that I give away stuff for free. I spend a lot of time giving away stuff for free and spending time like doing the podcast, the AT Tips Cast, which I'll be talking about here in a second. And all it's done is gotten me gigs like this one, you know, where I've given away for free. Someone comes along, watches the website, or listens to the podcast, or finds me and says, oh yeah, I kind of like how that guy does it, and maybe we should hire him. And so they hire me, and so I get gigs, and that's how I get a gig like this. And so I would totally disagree with that. You need to withhold it and keep it secret and keep it safe, you know, like the One Ring from Lord of the Rings. No, you have to share it with the world. Share your knowledge with the world, and that will get you more opportunities. It's just how it's just my experience. Other people might have different philosophies, but that's what's worked for me, kind of having an open philosophy of sharing what you know. Okay, the next thing here are these AT Tonight DVDs. Not going to spend a lot of time on this. The AT Tonight DVDs were spin-offs of Entertainment Tonight. So I was watching Entertainment Tonight and noticed, this is years ago, watching Entertainment Tonight, my wife had it on in the background, watched how they had like 1 or 2 minute segments on, you know, what Tom Cruise was doing, blah, 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 and it got the information real quick to you, and then it moved on to the next story, and I thought, oh, that's what videos are missing. Videos are too long that I'm watching, and the videos that I'm trying to make are too long. What if I took those videos, we burned those videos to a DVD, and send out DVDs sort of like Netflix, right? I mean, we've been doing this for a couple of years now. So this was back when Netflix wasn't streaming video. This was just when they had DVDs, right? Now on Netflix you can get a DVD or you can stream. And so we were burning our videos, keep them short videos, burn them to DVD, and send them out like Netflix. Like teacher would sign up on our content management system site, you know, our professional development learning portal. We would say Entertainment Tonight, Assistive Technology Tonight, sign up for the DVD. Teachers would sign up for the DVD. We would check it once a week. We'd see that teachers signed up. We'd send it to them in our Pony, which is our mailing system. They'd get it the next day. They'd take it home. They'd take the DVD. They'd put it in their DVD player, and they'd be watching professional development. We put a little question booklet there, so they're answering the questions. not necessarily because I wanted to quiz them, but because I needed to prove that they actually watched the DVD, and then we're able to give them staff development credit. Now you're wondering, DVDs, come on, Chris, that's so 1999, right? I mean, this is 2015. I thought this was going to be contemporary stuff. Well, here's the deal. Everyone knows about posting videos to YouTube now, right? Anyone can watch a video on the web, except that we find, at least in Loudoun County Public Schools, about 12% of our population doesn't have access to high-speed internet at home. Not because they don't want it, it's because they can't have it. The infrastructure is just not there. My supervisor, Mark Nichols, does not have high-speed internet access at home. And so I just kind of hate this idea of leaving about 12% of the population out of professional development because they don't have access to it at home. You know who else is about 12% of the population? Maybe 10 to 12% of the population. You know the correlation I'm trying to make there? People with disabilities. Exactly, Linda. People with disabilities, that's about 12% of the population. We don't want to leave them out, right? So I don't want to be hypocritical and leave out people who can't, who don't have access to high-speed internet access at home. So we burn it to DVDs, and we make that as one of the options. It's, you know, I'm not going to take you through a tutorial on how to burn movies to DVDs, but you can totally do that, and there's ways to get YouTube videos off the web and burn those to DVDs if you don't have time to make your own. On the earlier slide where I had Vine, I didn't mention it, but I'll mention it now. Screencast-O-Matic is a free web tool that allows you to make quick, less than 5-minute videos, so you can record the screen and do a little tutorial that way. And so making videos, we like to put them on DVD as well, and this way teachers get credit for taking them. So that's why we burn on DVDs. And plus, it takes away the technology. Like, everyone knows how to use a DVD. Not everyone still knows how to use a web video. Yes, I do take stuff off of YouTube. I don't steal it, right? I either link to it, we do Indigo, right? That's not stealing. It's just putting it in the hyperlink in a place. And if I want to, I ask permission lots of times. We ask a lot of permission. Typically, 99% of the time, people just say, oh, yeah, of course, use it. Please use it. So, yes, Snagit works too. Yes, thank you, Maureen. Snagit is not free. You know, you have to buy Snagit from TechSmith. Or maybe there's a free version. I don't know, but I know we purchased Snagit. So, okay, jumping over to podcasts, right? So I already mentioned my wife in the car all afternoon. I know I drive a lot from school to school, so I spend a lot of time listening to stuff. And what do I listen to? What do people listen to in the car? They listen to Taylor Swift, you know. But how many times can she possibly tell you, you are never, ever, ever getting back together? Ever. You just need to shake it off. So I say save your music for Fridays, but Monday through Thursday, subscribe to some podcasts, listen to some podcasts, give podcasts to your teachers and say, hey, I know you don't have time. I want to respect your time. Listen to this on the car ride home. Right? Okay. My favorite app ever, I get asked all the time, Chris, what's your favorite app? My favorite app of all time is the podcast app. I manage almost everything with podcasting through my phone. If you're not using it, if you don't have it, you have to get podcasting into your life. Just listening to podcasts. I'm really, I've never listened to the podcast Serial, but I'm really happy that it brought podcasting to the forefront again, because podcasting, just like 3D printing, just like the Echo Pen, it had its wave, right? People, everyone needed to know about podcasting. And a couple of years ago, you could go to a conference and you'd see 4 or 5 sessions on podcasting, and they'd be packed, right? And then that wave crashes, and then you're on to the next fad, right? But podcasting is still around, and there's so many good resources. So the podcasting app, this is just a quick screenshot of the podcasting app. Notice that when I listen to stuff, usually I'm listening at 1.5 speed. I can get through content faster. Students that listen to tell me that when they listen to podcasts, they actually like it the faster speed. It makes them attend a little bit more. And so you can get through the content just a little bit faster. And if you zone out because you're driving, you can always just skip back by 15 seconds. Right? And then, of course, I do a podcast. I don't want to make this an advertisement for the AT Tips Cast, but the AT Tips Cast does have, that's my podcast, the one I do, where I try and make it fun and entertaining and put out different free resources. You can go to the blog here and search for whatever you want to search for. Again, I use the idea of keyboarding or math, and you will find podcast episodes there related to those, and then you can download those episodes either on your phone or on your computer. Right? These are some of my favorite podcasts that, or networks of podcasts that you could listen to, but I would highly recommend you subscribe to. The way it works is that you look up a podcast on the podcasting app and you subscribe, and every time a new podcast comes out, a new episode comes out, it automatically downloads to your phone, right, the next day, like once a day. It'll go out and do a search and it'll update, and every time you open the podcast app, it'll do that, right? So if you want to do it more frequently. So you can refresh your phone and you can totally look up different podcasts you want to look up. And then what we do with the podcast is we burn them to CDs. Same philosophy. Is that what? CDs? Are you kidding me? Everyone has a CD player in their car. Well, most everyone has a CD player in their car. Not everyone knows what podcasting is. I say podcasting, and a lot of people just tune out right away. But so what we do is we burn them to CDs. Here's an example of what one looks like. So let's say you're doing, you have the goal of universal design for learning or text-to-speech, right? You have that goal that you're going to do at the beginning of the year or whatever for your new success matrix, right? That's your goal, is to do universal design for learning. Well, one thing you could do is make a CD of podcasts of people talking about universal design for learning. If I were to go over to iTunes here and go into the iTunes store, I could do a search for, if it didn't freeze on me. Here we go. Come on. There we go. UD, Universal Design for Learning. And it's searching iTunes, and I'm going to find tons of course, I'm doing a webinar, so my internet is slow, but it's going to come up with, look at showing results for universal design for learning. There are iPhone apps, iPad apps. I can click on podcasts, and you'll see that these are individual episodes on universal design for learning. So I could listen to one of those, and then I could download it, get it, and that would download it onto my computer, and then I could burn that to a CD or burn a series of these to a CD, and I give that out to teachers to listen to on their car ride home. So, hey, yes, awesome. I now have an entire CD of podcasts related to universal design for learning that teachers can listen to in their car, taking advantage of their commute. So, and then to make that into an actual workshop, we put little question booklets that go with them. So you can see that's what these little booklets are. And again, the questions are real easy. It's not necessarily that I'm testing this to teachers. It's just to prove that they actually listen to it, that I can give them staff development credit. All right, so burn episodes to CDs, or at least make playlists that you can share with your teachers and send podcasts out to teachers to listen to. Google Forms is something that I'm playing with recently. It's kind of my new thing. Is there something like that for non-iTunes people? Sure, Jennifer. There are tons of podcasting sites that you can look up. Totally. You just do a website search for a podcast on universal design for learning. You know what I mean? Do a Google search for that, and you'll find it. I think there used to be like the Zune Marketplace. That's gone. I think it's gone, or if it is, you haven't used it in a while. So there are definitely other places, but definitely there are other resources on iTunes. iTunes is just kind of sort of the 800-pound gorilla. You know, that's the one everyone knows and uses, so that's why I share it, and that's the one I use. Okay. Yes, Google Forms, Google Forms, Google Forms. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Jennifer, for that question. Thanks, Chris, for mentioning it. Let me give you an example of how you can use Google Forms, right, as a professional development workshop. Here is, yes, okay. This is an example. Okay. If you were to click on that hyperlink in the presentation, this is something I could send out to teachers. Strategies to improve communication via the AT Tipscast, because my goal at the beginning of the year was that we were going to work on communication strategies. All year long, I want teachers by the end of the year to have 3 or 4 new tips or tricks for communication strategies. So I have an episode here. I have a couple episodes on the AT Tipscast that feature communication strategies. So I have a little introductory page. And the next part of the Google form is, okay, listen to this episode. Click on it, listen to it. Explore the blog post. Read the blog post. Watch this video on that particular episode. It's on keeping pace, pacing boards, and then answer a few questions in Google form. What is a pacing board? Pacing boards need to be in color, true or false, whatever. You answer these, and then it fills out a spreadsheet in the back end. And that's how I know that teachers have completed it. Right? And once they've completed this, they move on to the next question, where they listen to the next podcast episode, or they watch the next video that I have, the next YouTube video that I have, and then they answer a few questions. And so it's the same idea as the AT Tonight, but it's in Google Form format. Right? Makes sense? Real easy to make Google Forms. You got to check them out. The other way we use Google Forms is, again, trying to get to my number of 22, is that I will use it before a workshop. So if I'm going to have a button chair workshop, I'm going to come to your school and then do a presentation. Before I come, hopefully I'll have the names of the people I'm coming to, and I will email them a link to a Google form that says, hey guys, I'm going to be coming and talking about, I think I just did one. This is an example. I did where I was talking about data collection, right? So I went out to a school and I did one on data collection. And so before I went out, I said, hey everybody, tell me what you know about data collection. What do you think data is? Why do you think data is important? Blah, 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 right? They fill out the form. I can then look at that information. The idea isn't necessarily that I'm even looking at the survey. It's that I'm presenting to them one time ahead of time. It's one of my hits towards 22. It's one of my clicks towards 22. And so then when I'm all done with the presentation, I've delivered it, and at the back end, I do I send another Google form, and they answer it, and that's another click towards 22. Okay, the last strategy I'm going to leave you with is probably maybe one of our most famous strategies on our assistive technology team, and that is the strategy a day calendar. We do, our assistive technology team makes a strategy a day calendar. Maybe if you've seen it, anything from Loudoun County Public Schools out at a conference, you may have seen the calendars. We make these calendars in-house in PowerPoint. And it's just, I do 25 slides, and Sally does 25 slides, and Judy does 25 slides, and we all put them together, and we then print it, and our vocational students in our graphic design course do the cutting and the gluing, and we give them out to our teachers. The idea being that we have them built into the slides, like whatever our goal was, right? If our goal was communication strategies, then maybe every 10 slides we'll have a slide on a communication strategy, so you can get to that number of 22 faster, right? Or if we're teaching Read and Write Gold, every other slide we have, or every 10 slides or so, we'll have a strategy on Read and Write Gold. So the way to make a strategy day calendar, we've been doing it in PowerPoint for years. We have our system down. But if you were going to make one, you could use the one that, the open source one, which is called the Open Source Strategy a Day Calendar. And that looks like this. This is a Google Doc, Google slide. It's you could just go here, and you can pick up this the first template slide here, and you duplicate that slide so that you have 2 of them, and then you fill it out with your strategy. And you can just notice that many people have done this already. I think we're closing in on 50 slides. Yeah, 40. We're at 41. So the idea being that we would have, if everyone, all of you, made one slide, you would have an entire repository of slides that you could choose, so that you can make your own strategy a day calendar. Does that make sense? All right, I know that I'm out of time, so let me jump to the end. and just say, here's the presentation that you can get, and then here is the, so that's the link to this actual presentation, the slide deck for this presentation. And this is the survey that you can see, and I see that Anna Marie put it into the chat as well. I'm going to stick around and scroll back and see if there's any questions that I missed. I'm so sorry. We got a little slow start because of the crashing. Maybe have to rush through the last little bit here. Did I miss any good questions? Feel free to contact me. Good, Jennifer. I'm glad you liked it. I hope maybe you'll add something to the Open Source Strategy Day calendar, or maybe you'll start using Diigo, or maybe you'll just walk away with the philosophy of, I got to be more patient with my teachers. I got to hit them 22 times. How can I get to them 22 times? Thanks, Jackie. Thanks, Donna. Yes, that's right, John. We have a tweet chat follow-up on March 30th. Pick one thing, Lorraine. Just pick one thing. Start with Diigo maybe, or start with the Strategy Day calendar, or start with learning Twitter, right? That was one of the slides. Or maybe look at Vine. Pick one thing and just start with that. Again, any of you have questions afterwards, feel free to contact me, send me an email, ask during the Twitter chat. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about any of this or anything else. No, Candy, it's not tonight. It's March 30th. The tweet chat is March 30th. Yes, Gabby, a recording will be posted. It takes like a day or two, but then they'll have it posted. Hey, Donna, yes, there is directions. Bridget, they have it over at the CTD site. Let me see if I can bring it up real quick for you. But I think they had that posted on the, don't miss the follow-up tweet chat, Monday, March 30th. And if you click on there, they have a how-to guide right here. So kind of go to the same place where you registered for this, and you will see a link for tweet chat, and right underneath it, if you click on that, it gives you some instructions. Jennifer, do you use different Twitter accounts for personal versus professional? I don't. I keep my Facebook personal for the most part, and my Twitter professional. But to be honest, my wife does. So she flips back and forth. She has a personal one that she uses for her blog, and then a professional one. She actually has 3 accounts that she switches through. Tuesday Sped Chat, 9 p.m. We will try. Thanks, Jody. Yeah, you'll notice, Jody, that is one of the slides I had to skip over because of getting a little bit of late start because of the crashing issue. But I talk about chats right here. AT chat, Ed chat. I should add Sped Chat to that. There you go. It's added. An LD chat. I know. If you go on, I should have a whole page just dedicated to chats or the hyperlink to that. All right. If there aren't any other, while everyone's typing, I'm just hanging out here for questions. Jennifer, it's going to be on March 30th. The CTD Tech Talk is March 30th. But like Jody mentioned, you could try a different chat. So you know what? I'll just bring it over to you. This is what Twitter looks like. This is how I manage my Twitter, since someone asked, right? So anyone who's still hanging around, this is what it looks like to me. This is my Twitter account. This first column right here is everyone I follow. This is people who have something that has AT Tipscast in it. They've written something to me specifically. And then this is the chat that I'm following, CTD Tech Talk, hashtag AT Chat. And so I'm following this particular column, right? So you come over here and I add a column. I'll do a search for Sped Chat, like Jody mentioned. And I'll add that column. Right? And it adds a column over here. Okay. right? I'm moving the column over so it's closer to my main page. These are all different hashtags that I follow. Yes, Bridget, I'm using TweetDeck, which is made, actually I think Twitter bought them, and it's just another way to do Twitter, TweetDeck. And I actually have a slide with a hyperlink on it in the presentation if you want it. But now, see, anytime someone posts something with the hashtag SpedChat, it shows up right here in this column for me, right? And so this is how I follow along with the CTD Tech Talk hashtag, right? Yeah, really. Vicky's using it ahead of time. Sweet. There you go, Vicky. Yeah, see how Vicky, I don't know if Lorraine's still on, but see how Vicky's taking notes and she's sharing it with the public by putting it out on Twitter? That's sort of the open sharing, right? Thank you for doing that, Vicky. Anna Marie says Hootsuite is another option. Yes, and I have that hyperlinked on the slides as well. Any other questions before I sign off too? About any of the strategies, the DVDs, the Vine, the Rule of 22, the philosophy behind it, anything? Oh, Lorraine, I was saying, I think it was you who mentioned how your husband thinks you need to keep it all closed and not give it away for free. And I was saying, look at here, Vicki, on my screen. It said this is one of the other participants in the presentation shared all of her notes that she was taking through Twitter. She's sharing to the world, which I think is cool. Say hi to Lauren for me, Jody. Okay, Candy, excellent. And feel free to write those in an email as well, Candy. And as well, I'll make sure I know I hit them during the tweet chat as well. Because if you have those questions, other people might have them as well. Thanks, Lorraine. Thanks, everybody, for participating.